Hello, this is Go Getter Excel, and today we will be talking about the date function. The date function is important in data analysis because it helps make your work efficient. When dealing with dates, you have to have some skills in order to make your dates more efficient, more useful in analyzing data. We'll be discussing a number of dates function. First of all, let's look at something called today. How do you get today's date? It's so simple. We have here um, column A will show us the date function we'll be looking at. Column B will give us the formula. This is the formula, and the column C will give us the formula text so that you will see what is happening. Now let's look at today. What is the formula to return today's date? It's simple. Put your equal to sign and type the words today. Open parenthesis, close parenthesis, hit enter, and you will have today's date. So today is the 15th of January 2023. Now, if you look at the formula text, it tells you what formula we used in arriving at this solution here. So, this column B gives the result when we use the formula, and the formula text in column C shows us exactly what formula we used in arriving at today's date. Now you can format today's date in this way. So you press Ctrl 1. Ctrl 1 will open the format box, and you click on number. Then you go to date. Now, if you see that the locale is United States, I want to change the locale from United States to United Kingdom. Of course, there are other locales here. We have other English, like let's go up again. We have English Zimbabwe, English UAE, English United States, English Trinidad and Tobago, English South Africa, plenty of it. Let me see. We also have other English version. Let me stick with the UK version. English UK, United Kingdom. Now in United Kingdom, I can format my date this way. I can format my date. Okay, I think I like this where the date, the month, and the year is being displayed, and so that is how it is being displayed. So I will click enter, and it's formatted the way I want it. And so this is today's formula. Today, open parenthesis, close parenthesis, you have your today formula. You have today's date. And so it means that if this workbook is opened tomorrow, this formula will return tomorrow's date as today. It will return it as 16th of January 2023 if you open this thing tomorrow. Alright, now if we know today's date, how can we get yesterday? Alright, let's see. Let's check if we have a function for yesterday. We type our equal to sign and we start with yesterday, YES. We don't have any function for yesterday. So what do we do? How can we get yesterday's formula? Now what we should know here is dates are actual numbers, but we formatted them in this way so that they will look like what we want. But in actual sense, dates are some numbers. And so that's why we can add two dates together. We can subtract between two dates and all that. So yesterday is simply today minus 1. Because we have a function for today, we can tweak it to get yesterday. So we can start and do it this way. Today, this is the function for today, then minus 1. That will give you that of yesterday. So if you look at the formula, it's today minus 1. I can bring the format here, Ctrl C, I can come here, Ctrl Alt V, and paste only the format, and it gives me the format that I want. So it gives me yesterday's date. Okay, now having known yesterday's date, how can I get tomorrow's date? All I will do here is to copy today's date. Okay, I want to check tomorrow. I'll paste it here for, to, for, to, for tomorrow's formula. Since we have only today, we don't have yesterday, we can't get tomorrow. We can only use today to achieve what we want. And so we can say tomorrow is today plus 1 plus 1. Just like we did in yesterday minus 1, tomorrow will be plus 1. Hit the enter button, it gives me what I want. So this is tomorrow. Alright, so how do we get another date function called end of month? How do we get the end of month? Right, there is a formula in Excel called EO months. So I will start with EO month. The EO month says here returns the serial number. So a date is a serial number of the last day of the month before or after a specified number of months. Okay, so EO month is our formula function. Now it has two arguments. The first argument is the start date. Which date are we going to start with? Okay, let's start with today. Let's look at start date today. So I will just type the today's function here. This will return today's date, comma, months. So I want to look at the end of the date that will become the end of January 2023. So because we are in January 2023, when I say months, I will put 0 because this is 0 months. I'll close the bracket and I will hit enter and it gives me the serial number. So you see, a date is a serial number. That is it. That is how all dates are formatted. So what happens here is I will bring this format here, copy it, paste Ctrl Alt V, paste only the format, and it changes it to 31st January 2023. This shows me here that my end of January, the end date of January is the 31st. Now, if I were to use, instead of 0, and I put 1, it means 1 month from today, because my reference date, which is the start date, is today. Now, if I'm looking at 1 month from today, it means here that Excel will check the date 1 month from today. So if today is 15th of January, it will 1 month from today will be the 15th of February. It will now look at that date as a reference date and return the end of month for February. So let's look if it's going to give me 28th February 2023. Hit the enter button and it does it. 28th February 2023. You can see the formula text here telling us the exact formula, how we achieved it. Okay, now let's look at it. If I were to go 1 month backward, I will be getting December because we're in January. 1 month from today will be the 15th of December, and it means that Excel is being asked to return the end of month for December. It's going to give me 31st December 2022. So you see here, that is how we get our end of month. Now, how do we get our start of month? This is the next date function we'll be talking about. Start of month. How do we get it? Okay, just as we have EO month, which is end of month, let's see if we have something called SO months. No, we don't have start of month. Whether you say SO month or start of month, there is nothing, no formula for start of month. But what we can do is to do something similar to what we did for yesterday and tomorrow. Okay? Remember, there was no formula for yesterday. So we use the today formula to get yesterday by minusing 1. And so tomorrow, there is no formula for tomorrow, but we use the today's function to get tomorrow. There is no function for start of month. We are going to use the function for end of month to get the start of month. Okay, so it means we are in January, right? I want to find the start date for January. That means I want to return January 1, 2023. How will I achieve it? The first thing to do is to get the end of month for last month, which is December, and I'll just add 1 and I will get the start date for January. So now let's do it. The first thing to do is to do the EO months. EO months, open the bracket. Our start date is today. Alright, so let's look at it. Why are we using today as our start date? It's because it is dynamic. Today is relative. Tomorrow can become today the next 24 hours. And so it is changing. And so we want our start of month to be dynamic. So we're using today as our reference date. Now, we want to return the end of month for last month. So what I'll do here, comma, months, I will say minus 1. Minus 1. Right? Now, this will give me start end of month. I'll put them in brackets. I'll hit enter. Okay. This gives me the end of month. I'm not done with this formula, but I just want to show you something. Let me copy this format here and look at something here. So you see here, this has given me end of month of last month. I will double click it and I will come to the end here and I will add 1. When I add 1, it gives me the start of month for January. So you see here, the formula is end of month. Today is the start date. The number of months is minus 1, taking you to last month. Close the parenthesis to end the end of month. Then you add 1 to it. Gives me the start of month. So you see here, you can now look at the end of month, the start of month, how many days are in between. You can use this in your calculation. Now, why is this useful? If you are trying to look at some payment due date, some payments have a due date of end of month. Why some have a due date of start of month. So it is important to know how to calculate the start of month and the end of month. Another thing, even though we don't have the formula for start of month, which we can derive from end of month, if you want to create a calendar has to start from a month. So you need the start of month formula in order to get your calendar. Now we have two dates. How can we get the difference between these two dates? Let's look at these two dates here. I can say here, let me do it up here. The difference between the start of month and the end of month here, I'll simply say this minus this. Wow. And it's giving me -1. Is that really so? It is so, because the difference between this here and here is 1. But I did it the wrong way. Now, this is the start of month of a new month. This is the old month. What I would have done here is this start of month for January minus ending of month of December gives me 1. Right? Now, if I were to do another end of month here, I would say end of month, open a bracket, today, and 0. This will give me the end of month for this month being January. Okay? This is end of month for January. If I were to change this calculation now, and I say end of month of January minus start of month of January, it's telling me 30 days. So, is it 30 days we have in a month? No. So what you simply do here is, normally, you put this in a bracket, then you always add 1. So when you are looking for the difference between two dates, you have to add 1 to it to give you the correct thing. So this is 31 days. Right? That is it. Now, you can also make use of the date function. Now, there is something called the date function. Let's look at it. Date. Open a bracket. What is the year? The year is 2023, comma. What is the month? January. You put 1 or 01. What is the day? The day is 15. You close the bracket and it gives you 15th of January 2023. Let me take this format here and put it down here, and it gives me the same thing that I want. This is today's date in actual sense, but this is static, because even if we go to the next day, it will remain static as this. Alright, so that's it. These are some date functions you should bear in mind. We have today, tweak it for yesterday, we have tomorrow, end of month, start of month, and the date function. Now let's look at the weekday. Alright, let's look at the weekday. Now, let's have a date. Like we started with today. Let's say this is today. Okay, sorry, this is today, and it gives me this. Let me take the format from here, copy this format, and bring it down here. Alright, so this is the format I want. So my date is 15th of January 2023. Now, what is the weekday number? What is the weekday number? So I'll come here weekday, open a bracket, serial number. Now this is the serial number, this date is the serial number. Open, um, type a comma. Now the return type. If you want your date to read Sunday as the first day of the month of the week and Saturday as the seventh day of the week, you choose option number 1. If you want Monday to be the first day of the week and Sunday to be the seventh day of the week, you choose option number 2. I'm going to choose option number 2 as my return type because Monday is my first day of the week, 7th Sunday. Sunday is the seventh day of the week. I'll take option number 2 as my return type and I'll hit enter and it gives me my weekday number is 7. My weekday number is 7. Right, so this is it. Weekday, the reference number or the serial number is in A3 and your return type is in 2. You can see it here from the formula text. Let me hide these 2 columns so that we can see what is happening when I get to the other one. Now look at the weekday name. So I'll come here, weekday, weekday. I'll come here. Now I will use an if formula. I will use an if formula. I will come here and say if, open the bracket, if weekday number, which is in B3, equal to 1, comma, let it return Monday. Alright, comma, value if false, you come again, if, this is what we call nested if B3 equal to 2, comma, equal to 2, put it in parentheses, put it in quotation mark rather, Tuesday, close the quotation mark, comma, if B3 equal to 3, comma, Wednesday, comma, if B3 equal to 4, Thursday, comma, if B3 equal to 5, comma, Friday, if B3 equal to 6, comma, Saturday, comma, if B3 equal to 7, comma, Sunday, comma. Now what is the value if false? If it is none of these, I don't want it to return anything. So I will just put quotation mark, 2 quotation mark to show blank. And I will close my 7 quotation, my 7 parentheses. I will do 1, 2, I'll be doing it until I see a black parenthesis to close everything. So this is the second one, the third, the fourth, the fifth, the sixth, the seventh. Alright, I've seen a black and I hit enter and that's it. So it returns Sunday. So it means that the 15th of of January, which is the 7th day of the week, is a Sunday. That is what this is telling me. So you can see the formula text that brings these results. So that's how it's been done. Look at the weekday, and there's another way you can do it. Now you can use the um, VLOOKUP. So I'll come here and I'll start with 1, 2, 3. So when I get 1, 2, 3, I will drag till I get 7. Alright, the next thing I'll do here, I'll start with Monday, Tuesday. So instead of me to continue writing Monday, Tuesday, I will drag to give me till Saturday, Sunday. Alright, so what I will do here, now let's take this one down here. Let's repeat the same thing here. Now let's repeat this formula down here. Alright, this is showing me this is the formula text for it. But now instead of repeating this, I want to use the VLOOKUP to explain how we can also get the weekday name. So I will start VLOOKUP, open a bracket, the lookup value. What value am I looking for? I'm looking for value in B3, which happens to be 7, comma, my table array. Now the table array have 7 listed in the leftmost part. So this is my table array, comma, which column index. We have 2 columns here, column H and column I. Column H happens to be the first column, column I happens to be the second column. So which column among these two have the result I am looking for? Is the second column. So I will put 2. Then I will close the bracket, hit enter, and it gives me Sunday. So you can see here, that's how you can use the VLOOKUP to get your weekday name. And I think this VLOOKUP style is better than these other nested ifs. So that's how we get a weekday number and weekday name. Now let's go to the next one called month. We can do the same thing. So now let's look at this. We can say today's date, say this is today, okay, and we have our 15th of January. I'll copy this format here and I'll bring it down here. I'll paste it. Ctrl Alt V brings the space special, and I paste the format, and it gives me what I want. Alright, now this is the month number. How do we get the month number? We will start with equal to months. So this is different from end of month. This is month. What is your serial number? So what it does here is this whole serial number that is a date here, it extracts the month number out of a full date. So if I hit enter, it gives me 1. So it means that the month number is 1. How can I get the month name? This is where we can now use the VLOOKUP to come to our aid. Now let's do it the same thing we did here. Let me reduce this and reduce this and use the VLOOKUP here, and I will say this is 1, 2, 3, and I will drag it down till 12. It is 11. Okay, let me start from here. 1, 2, 3, and drag till I get 12. Let me remove this. Alright, so this is my month numbers. I will start. This is January. This is February. Alright, so what I will do here, let me drag, and I will get December. Right? I will use my VLOOKUP again. Month name equal to VLOOKUP, open the bracket, lookup value is 1. Here, B3, comma, lookup table array. The table array is here, comma, my value or the return index number, which is the column index number that my answer is in the second column. I'll put 2 here, and I'll close the bracket. It gives me January. So that is how I get my month name. So we have seen how we can format dates, how we can get weekday, how we can get month number, month name. Now we have some projects we want to do. Alright, let's say it's a simple project, but you can expand on it. Alright, now this is my stock report. Now this is today's date, so I will just come here and I will say this is today. Now this is the date. Okay, let me take this format here and bring it down here and use it. Alright, so now this is my today. Alright, so what happens here is this. What happened here is this. This is dynamic. So in the next some hours, it will give me the next date. There's something I should have also told you. This is called now. Let me go back here and tell you about it. I'll come here. I'll come back to the project. This is a now. Now. This is one of the dates function we need. So there's a function called now. Now, if you do it just the way we had today's date, and you hit do now, hit enter, it gives you the date and the time, the current time. It gives you the date and the time. So if the time changes, all you need to do is refresh. All you need to do is just refresh it, and it will give you the current time. Alright, so let's go now to our project. So this is our today's date. It's going to be dynamic. Now I want dates to be written for the month, but now, for example, here I want this to be my stock report for the month. So I'll come here, let me edit it. For the month of, okay, I want to put the month name and the year. How do I do it? How do I do it? So it means here that I will come here and I will use my VLOOKUP to get my month name here and use it. So let's see what we're going to do here. I'll come to this place and I'll put equal to, and I'll put a quotation mark because this is a text string. And I'll come down here for the month of, and I'll put space because it's still a text string. I'll close the quotation mark and I will put the ampersand sign, which is and. I want to join two things together, and I want to put the month. So I will now use the VLOOKUP, and I will say VLOOKUP, open a bracket, the lookup value, okay. Now I'm going to do something. Lookup value is going to be months. Alright, open a bracket, and I'm going to bring this serial number. So what is happening here is that Excel is going to do a VLOOKUP and extract, look at the value it's looking at, is in B1. It's going to extract the month inside that date. Alright, that's my lookup value. My table array is in this place where we have these tables. Alright, comma, my column index number is the second column. Now that's going to be my uh, that's going to be my VLOOKUP formula function. I'll close the bracket once. I'll close the bracket again. Is it? Okay, no. Let me do it again. I'll close the bracket once. I hit enter. So it tells me this is stock report for the month of January. If I were to make these things capital letters, let me see. Teach you another function here. Upper. If I make these things uppercase, this is now capital letters. I'll come here, drag it down. This is capital letters. What I will just do here, I'll copy it, move it down here, and copy here as values only. And so this is my values. I'll come down here, it has changed to capital letter. Then I can add the year. So I can come here, so there is something, I'll use the AND function, and I want to give it a space. I'll use a quotation mark, give a space, close the quotation mark again, open the AND function, then I will use something called the year function, which is another date function. So I will come here, year, open a bracket, I'll bring this same serial number. So what it's going to do here is it's extracting the year from this date. So when I hit enter, this is the stock report for the month of January. Now if this thing updates to February 1, this month is going to automatically change to February 2023. Alright, so what are the dates I'm going to do here? I want it to start from the start date of January, January 1. So what I will do, how do I get my start date? Okay, so look at what I'm going to do here. I will come down here, equal to end of month, sorry, EO month, EO month, open a bracket, start date. We are looking at this date. Everything takes from here. Alright, now at this point now I will put it as a um, absolute reference, so that when I drag the date, it will not shift. Now my start date is today's date, but I want to return last month. Like we did before, month, I will put -1. So it's going to give me the end of the date. It's going to give me the end date for last month. All I will need to do is to add 1. It will return the start date for this month. Now hit enter. Good. January 1, 2023. January 1, 2023. Now what happens here is I can drag these. Okay, if I drag them, it's going to be giving me January 1, 2023 all through. Okay, this is not what I want. I don't want to be dragging it like this. I want them to be changing dynamically. So I can come here, I can say here will be this plus 1. So it gives me like that. I cannot drag. Okay, sorry. can drag all of this here, so it gives me this is what I want. So from January 1 to January 10, I have 10 dates. Alright, so what are the weekdays? So I will come here and I will say, this is, I will now look at VLOOKUP again, and I know that my weekday, when we were doing weekday, we had something like this. So I will come down here and I will use my VLOOKUP and I will say VLOOKUP, open a bracket. What is my lookup value? My lookup value is going to be the day here, weekday for this date. So I will come here, weekday, weekday, open a bracket, serial number, comma, return type is, we are taking the second option where Monday is the first day of the week. I'll put 2. Alright, close the bracket. Now this is my lookup value, comma, my table array, I'll come here, is going to be here. Alright, now I'm going to fix it with F4, comma, then my column index, my column index is going to give me 2, right? And I close the bracket, right? And that's it. This Sunday, so you see here, Sunday was January 1. If I drag this thing down here up to this, it's going to give me the weekdays. I have Sunday, Monday, and this is Tuesday, January 10. And that's how you return your dynamic date. So you see here, if this date happens to be, let's see something here, if we do this thing 30 days from today, let me just add plus 30 here, everything changes dynamically. So this is 14th of February, my stock report for the month of February 2023. My date starts from February 1, February 2, this is 10th of February, February 1 is Wednesday. So you see here, it's automatic, it's dynamic. If I were to go back, let's say 60 days backward, let me say 60 days backward, this is November, and it updates, gives me November, right? So it's working. So let's go back and use our today's date, right? So that's fine. So we have our quantity. So you can do something here. You can drag this up to all here. So all your quantities will be here. So you can now put the quantity you sold for banana on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. We're going to look at this kind of project more when we're going to do things like conditional formatting and other things. But for now, suffice it to say, we use the date function to produce date that changes automatically, that is dynamic, and that's the essence of this project. Alright, what have we done throughout this course? We have looked at the date function. We've seen today's date, we've seen yesterday, how it was created from today, we've seen the tomorrow function, how it got from today. We saw the end of month, how we can use the end of month to get the start of month, how we can find the difference between two dates, and the now function. We also saw the weekday function, how we can get the weekday number, convert it to a weekday name. We also saw the month text, the month function, how we can get the month name from that date. We also saw how VLOOKUP has helped us to get the date, the weekday name, and the month name. And also in our project, we're able to dynamically use dates that changes dynamically with in conjunction with text to give a dynamic report. We also saw the year function. We formatted this date using the end of month idea to from the end of month of last year to get the start of month of a new date. We use the weekday function with VLOOKUP to get all of these formatted. If this video has been of interest to you and you like it, please click the subscribe button and get more videos from our channel. Until I come your way again, this is Chima from Go Getter Excel. See you next time in class.